What is going on, car guys and car gals? It's Lou Ramirez, the car guy.
And it's Frelinard, subprime hero.
And we have the one, the only Owen Moon
in the building
with a
What's up,
special
guys?
guest in the room too. The one, the only
Joe Brown.
On this Fixed Ops Friday.
I like to
Everybody,
call
we
him
are having a
Hollywood,
great
man.
time.
Hollywood
Joe.
Hollywood on us lately, and I love it. He's been on a lot of
He
shows.
is Hollywood
He's
Joe.
been putting himself out there, brother. So congratulations and all that.
Appreciate
I love that you're part of a legacy dealership, with the Frank Leta Auto Group out there in Missouri, and you guys are doing some big things over there, and you're leading the way with the marketing and things like that. And of course, we have the man, the myth, the legend, the guy that's just stapled what online service marketing is. He's here with you. We're going to be talking about Fix Ops today. This is Fix Ops Friday, and I'm excited to have you on the show as always. What's going on, Owen? How you doing today, brother?
Good, man. Special edition. We're out here at the Kain Event.
That's
So,
right.
we don't normally do these live, but this is there's a good time. So got our boy Joe to come out and talk with us a little bit. So Joe, we kind of kick this off usually. Tell us a little bit about yourself. Tell us, how you got in automotive, what you're currently doing, and sort of what you've been doing here at Kain and maybe even just focusing on in 2024 so far.
Absolutely. Yeah. Joe Brown, been on the show 3 times. This
That's
is my
right.
3rd time. That's right.
First Fix Ops Friday, though.
That's
First
right.
Fix
First
Ops
Fix Ops
Friday.
Friday.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Honored to be here. I've grown up in automotive. So my grandfather's Frank Leta, and I'm currently working at that automotive group, my family's automotive group.
Nice.
Started washing cars when I was in high school, worked in various departments. Was a service greeter briefly, finance, and fell into marketing. Kind of right around when websites were becoming a thing, and that was dealerships didn't really know what to do with the emerging technologies.
Yeah,
and it was something that I've always kind of been passionate about. So, little by little, responsibilities fall under my expertise, I guess, and you start wearing a lot of hats. It's not unique for people in my position in automotive. And we've grown from there. Went from early days 2 dealerships. Now we're up to 5 dealerships. So I've been honored to carry on my grandfather's legacy and just continue to the next generation.
Did you notice that as you got going, the job responsibilities just kept adding? Because they're like, oh, our internet's not working. Call Joe.
I got
Our
it.
computer's not working. My antivirus is out. Call Joe. Yeah. That's what
Reset the router.
Yeah, no doubt.
Call Joe.
I've heard that a lot from a lot of
Oh my
people.
gosh.
Those early days of the internet, is,
People get frustrated because they call me with problems, and my first thing would just be like, "Did you reboot your computer?" And they'd be like,
basic IT stuff, right? There.
Yeah.
Never thought about that.
Duh, obviously, but
Yeah.
95% of the time,
I did do it already, but I'm gonna do it again now.
Yeah.
It's working.
Sure.
If you're our Fix All, I swear I've done that so many times in my day, and it just changed the game. Like anything starts to run slow, restart it. Even the phone, you
Even
can get
that.
to your phone and
No
you
doubt.
can set up. If you get something that's not working, restart it. You'll be surprised it probably works right afterwards.
Yeah.
But that's so much. It's so crazy because it's true. When we talk about Internet Manager or anybody who dealt with internet stuff, they took that on, and people thought you were all encompassed of all those jobs. And technically, that's not your detail. Like you're like, no, actually, it's not what I do, but I know how to. Right?
Sure.
And that's why it's important. But being a jack of all trades is something I think all leaders in dealerships are. We don't just sell cars. We manage people. We manage inventory. We manage life. There's so many things that we have to do that we have to constantly evolve and not just say this is all I do. That's not my job. It's all of our jobs to help people buy cars. And when you're doing it in service department, it's all of our jobs, including the sales department, to make sure our customers come back and get service there also. And and that's a big part of it. Marketing it the right way and making sure that everyone's encouraged to do so. At your store, how are you marketing your online? How are you marketing your service department right now?
Yeah, I mean, our whole motto is Leta for life, and the idea is that we want to take care of the customer for the life of their ownership experience. We don't want to just sell them a car and see you later, never see you again.
Yeah.
We want to build that lifelong relationship. So we want to sell you your first car, your second car, third car. We've got customers that have bought 15 cars from us between themselves and their family. Word of mouth is still just the best marketing you can do, but really trying to focus on taking care of them throughout that whole experience, getting them in for service. Yeah, that's the biggest opportunity.
Well, and you said something there. You said, that repeat customer, all that, and the only way you're going to get that is to treat them right during the sale. But then I think a lot of it has to do with that service experience through those 4 or 5 years. And I know a lot of dealerships are struggling with that. There's some recent stats that came out that said that like our trust in dealerships has actually fallen over the last couple of years. There's just some weird, like I was just out at a conference, and one of the questions I asked everybody, I said, do you guys have a good sales to service handoff? And I asked that question a lot over the last 5 years. And I feel like just a month ago, the number of hand raises that I got when I asked that question was drastically less than what it was 2 or 3 years ago. So do you find that, I mean, maybe not your stores necessarily, but do you find that it's getting harder to kind of keep those processes going long term? Or do you guys do something like that where you're trying to introduce the service department right into from the sale, just to kind of give that handoff? And what are you kind of noticing from that?
Yeah, I think for our dealership, we've always seen the value in getting that first appointment at the time of sale, because that's how you retain their business. You want to get it in as early as possible, because if you don't, someone else certainly will. And I think a lot of dealerships have kind of not been paying attention to that, and that's how all these independent repair shops have been able to just steal our customers and build those relationships that we should have been doing in the first place.
So to go back to the point of just the resetting, even our hardware, our technical stuff, there needs to be a mindset reset that the entire industry has, or owners have, and those that are looking at this problem of defecting customers that we can't keep after our sale. They don't want to come back to us, or we don't properly communicate. There has to be a reset to how we look at that. And what are some of the solutions that you're seeing most effective right now, Joe, in being able to make sure that that conversation does keep being cultivated with some of the tools that you add, to include what you do with Fixed Ops Digital?
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, leveraging technology to assist. We've got automations to communicate with customers depending on where they are in their service cycle, whether they're due for service. Oh, by the way, we haven't seen you in a little while. When can we schedule you in? Send a text message with a link to the service scheduler. Or if we haven't seen them in a while, we got different buckets for different customers, lapsed, inactive, and then conquesting new customers. Just really getting smart with the targeting and segmentation of who you're talking to and sending the right message to the right person at the right time. I think that's the key.
Staying proactive, right? Yeah. And then, not reactive, but proactive. Always putting yourselves out there, letting people know where you're at all the time. It's literally today's open sign. Everything it's digital. You want to let people know we are open. We are here for business. We do have tires. We do have brakes. We do have accessories. Come by and check us out. We don't just do what you do warranty work. You don't have to come here just because you're a Ford and you come here for warranty. You come here for anything that you need. Anything has to do with your vehicle. I don't even care if it's tint. I want to make sure that you understand where to get it and where to get the best deals. Get them people inside those doors, but you have to let them know that's what we do all the time. Because I tell you who does, Valvoline. Valvoline sends me messages all the time. I get text messages from them. I get emails. I get all kinds of stuff letting me know about $30 off oil change, this and that. It's constant.
But you got to be really careful with that, Fred. And I agree with you wholeheartedly. But just like everything, it's all about timing of the message, right? And I had a dealer tell me one time that they sent out a correspondence by accident to an oil change coupon to an EV customer. Like, I mean, and it's like, look, it happened one time and we stopped it, but how many of those pitfalls could happen along the way if you're not careful? If you don't have someone like Joe setting this up and making sure that those cadences and those timely messages are accurate. And it's a lot more than just sales where you're like, hey, we've got a rebate coming in, or we've got lease specials. It's trying to hit those triggers, to his point, at different buckets of and now you're getting into EVs, you're getting all kinds of things where you don't even think about it. You're like, oh yeah, they were just in that normal 6-month cadence, but they're an EV customer. They got to get pulled out, and it's a different. So a lot of
great point there. I love that.
Yeah, what is often inside of the CRM is the information of the customer, the last time somebody recorded or input the information of the customer. But even whether it's an EV or it's an actual car, if I'm calling you about a car you don't even have anymore, right? Then you're like, thanks for keeping up with me. Talk to you later, right? Well, I'm not going to bring that back to you. I'm not going to see you again because you're still out of touch with me. This is a problem that has brewed, and now there's true solutions for it. And that's what we love, right? We're always about brewing solutions. We're always about making sure that we do come up with the most easiest answer to what may seem like a complex problem, because the customer, once it starts getting complex, they defect, right? They go someplace else. They're not hearing it. And that Valvoline coupon is going to come in and they're going to use it, right? If they have a situation where they don't feel like they're part of your actual ecosystem, they don't feel a part of your family, they're going elsewhere. And you guys do a great job at being conscious of that, which is forward thinking for all of you dealers. You got to consider how much your customer can interact with your business beyond the yes to the newer car that they have. And if you keep fishing for new customers all the time and don't keep the ones that you have, well, then you're,
It's the most
you're shooting
expensive.
yourself in the foot.
It's the most expensive thing. Joe, what do you find has been working? I mean, are you noticing certain, is it email? Is it Facebook? Is there certain things when it comes to digital that you're either dabbling in or have like really dabbled in earlier and now finding it's working for you guys?
I really think it's kind of all the above: email, digital, trying to have a all-encompassing solution so that you're everywhere that you need to be, because some people prefer one medium over another.
Sure.
You don't want to neglect anybody. So you kind of want to fill all those buckets and be represented all across the entire ecosystem that you can, right? Just maximum exposure, but also not over communicating. So
Right.
you don't want to send a sales message to a customer that you just sent a service offer to. Otherwise, you're going to fill their inbox up and they're going to get tired of you pretty quick. Right?
They'll start unsubscribing.
Yeah, you're going to increase your opt-out options, right?
Yeah, keeping it simple but extremely relevant. I think that's the key, is keeping it as relevant as possible.
And I love that. I love that you talked about basically fishing in different ponds, because if you just leave your bait in just one pond, you're going to miss opportunities in so many different places, because not every fish is in this pond, right? You know, and you want to make sure that you help every fish that you can. Also be strapped, like you said, not to over-educate them or overpopulate their mailbox or their whatever we're trying to communicate them with. We need to make sure that we're giving it to them when they need it too, and also to the most effective times. Like sometimes, yeah, we don't want to evenly spread it throughout all those things. We want to put where we know this is effective during this time. We're going to put more money this way. But paying attention to your data, like you're talking about, knowing where that's at helps you be able to figure out where to put the money at the right time. But yet, I still believe you need to put a little bit in everything. It makes a difference.
Absolutely.
It's just that one deal makes. If you can find one deal out of it, it makes that money come right back to you. So it's worth it.
Yep.
And there's different ways to be able to do that in technique. What have you been seeing? Because you're at the dealership level, you're seeing the technology, the marketing tools all come together. What is it that you do to make sure that you do communicate with all of the people that have to implement all the great ideas that you uncover, all the great techniques and ways that we can do things? What do you do inside of your stores to be able to make sure that the message is relayed down to the person that is actually face to face with the customer?
Yeah, I mean, it's just staying on top of it, keeping it top of mind. You can't just explain the process once and expect it to be done, right? You have to follow up and keep it kind of top of mind for all your employees, but also making it as automated as possible and leveraging technology, leveraging AI. Human error is a real thing. So if you rely on your human, your employees to take care of everything, there's going to be cracks and things are going to fall through the cracks. So trying to build as bulletproof of a technology system in place to prevent things from falling through the cracks.
Well, and that's something I've noticed, obviously as a marketing guy, that's sort of where I live and breathe like you do, Joe. But over the last 5 years, one thing I've really done is try to dig into some of the operational tech.
Yeah.
Because I always felt like if I knew a little more about the operational side of it, it helps you in the marketing, right? So no matter what you know, don't know, it's always good to be a student and learn.
Mm-hmm.
What I've realized and what I've noticed is that our tech on the service side, in a lot of cases, that operationally is in sometimes lacking.
Mm-hmm.
And so people are actually having to kind of like rig the system, so to speak, to get the results that they're looking for. And that's unfortunate because that goes into what you're just saying, that all of a sudden you start dealing with challenges. You start dealing with employee manipulation of things. Somebody mentioned it yesterday in one of the sessions, the intellectual property of that employee leaves when that employee leaves. All those things come into it. So I definitely think that on the horizon is going to be a new influx of tech for the service side that will take some of those issues out, and kind of like what we've done on the sales side, right? I mean, we have every tool in the world over there that's helping automate and AI and all that stuff. And then you get to the service side, and I think we're lacking, but I think it's coming, and it's probably something you're looking forward to because it'll help
for sure.
It'll help you take your efforts, even make them more efficient. Right?
Yeah. I mean, on the sales side, you're right. There's a lot more tech on the sales side. Service has always kind of been a more neglected department, but even though all that tech exists, it doesn't play nicely together.
No.
So, like you said, a lot of people in my position are kind of hacking systems together for a very homemade solution, and you can make it work, but it is not seamless. It is not automated. So we're still not there yet. It's a constant trial and error, trying different vendors, seeing who plays nicely, finding that right balance between not too many vendors, but you need to have more than just one, because one vendor typically doesn't offer a complete
The
solution.
everything, yeah, the whole thing.
So I really think that a trend you're going to see is more open APIs. I think between sales and service, and centralizing all that data. We've talked about CDPs in the past, but having that central database of information and incorporating AI to market to that, I think that's the future.
Yeah, I think we need it. It's sad because, to your point, a lot of these things do not integrate well together, do not communicate well together. So you're like almost having to manually move stuff over when it takes so much time, and eventually you just kind of give up on it, right?
Yeah.
And it's a shame. We need to collaborate more. I think vendors and businesses, you see it outside of automotive quite a bit. Microsoft, for example, they collaborate with tons of companies. A lot of the products you see will be with some companies that are just like, wow, I can't believe they even collab, because they wanted to make sure, which is the number one most important thing, that the customer experience was wonderful. We in automotive tend to not worry about customer experience, but us, who's going to sell to the dealer and be the only one to do that, right? And I get that. I understand. I want to be the I want to be the person that has all the market share also, but I also don't want to cause it to be confliction with other businesses that can come in there and help make my product better, right?
Well, but that's why I think you got to build, when you're a vendor, and obviously coming from the vendor side, you've got to build your tech with that long-term vision in mind,
I
right?
agree with you on that.
100%. And if it's not there, like we have an integration with Sunday, right?
Yep.
And that was a direct API, as you mentioned, and it was after a couple meetings where we're like, hey, we have an idea on how we think we can all work together for the benefit of the
I
dealer.
love that.
And when we put that in place, we instantly saw an increase in pre-approvals and people writing repair financing business. So it was like two companies that were kind of paralleling each other, just kind of helping the dealer. We brought us together to create just a one little connection point, and look what it was able to do for the stores. So
I think that's phenomenal.
and that's just an intro level. There's also many other things you can do with video and things like that, which obviously TradePending has acquired us. They acquired SnapCell, which has a video platform. And there's all kinds of discussion right now on how to make all of this stuff like a platform where it goes all together. So you're gonna see a lot more of that in the future, not just from our company, but just to Joe's point, just in general.
In automotive, period. Yeah.
And in automotive, what they need is more of the collaboration from different vantage points, not just what OEMs are wanting to do. Because on the dealership side of it, there's been a lot of technological impositions that have happened to, especially the fixed ops department, where it's like, here's this technology, use it, make it work, go for it, and it doesn't even get used, right? And then we find a plug, or we find a way to widget around it and get it to be used. But I think that as now there's more creative technologies and there's more open ears to seeing what does it take to actually win this battle, that dealers are fighting against third parties, and really that we're all fighting to try to keep the attention of a customer. Because goodness, there's enough distractions out there, and we don't want to just be part of the noise, right? We don't want to be part of the noise for the customer. We want to be refined and also make it still more personal, which I think you guys do incredibly in being able to be about your people. Fixed Ops Digital is a great way of being able to figure out what it is that the actual dealer wants to communicate to the customer, because it's not about you, right? The customer doesn't give a rip about Fixed Ops Digital, right? The customer doesn't know that you're even there, right? They only know about the face or the person that they eventually get connected to. And that's what we want. But I mean, there's a lot.
I mean, the dealer cares about fixed ops.
The dealer does,
but the customer, they love the process of it, but they have no idea that's who it is, right? And that's exactly what they want. That's what dealers pay for. That whole seamless. It's actually the dealer's system that they use, right? It makes it feel really good to the customer. It makes it feel very catered. Like, hey, they know what I want and when I need it, and that's important, And I know that for you doing what you do, it's that's what you do. So you want to be a proficient. You want to make sure that your job is getting done well. I know you. Everything you do, to include the way you dress, has to be done well. You want to make sure that it's done. You look at it before it's actually put into play.
Pay attention to detail.
Right. It makes all the difference to the glasses, right? So it's the same thing that you're doing inside there. That's why you're the right man for the job, right? You do a great job with it. And I love seeing that your dealerships are growing because you're there. it's beyond that legacy thing, man. It's something that you have inside you that you want to be able to do for your people, so for your community. You take that honor from your grandfather. I know that. And I know I've had conversations with you, and I hear how you feel and what you want. So being able to do that, which you do proficiently, is powerful. Coming on a show like our show today and talking about fixed ops can sometimes, because you encompass all of it. You don't just do fixed ops. You do everything, but it still has to. Those two things, the sales department and them, they also need to be collaborating.
Yeah,
that's a big part of what you guys do. So how does that work for you guys collaborating with the sales department?
We are fortunate that our departments get along very well, but I've heard horror stories from other dealer groups where it's like they're at war with each other, and then nobody wins, right?
That's right.
So in our group, we all 5 of our stores really collaborate, and all of them are going in the same direction. We have weekly meetings with all the GMs at all 5 stores to make sure that we're all on the same page at a group level. So
Communication is key.
Communication is key.
Communication is number one. Without good communication, it all falls down.
Well, and we've just finished Q1, right? We're in April.
Yep.
What do you think the rest of the year looks for you? Like, what are you guys focusing on? What's going to be kind of the mission the next 9 months?
Really dialing in the communications to our customers, working on segmentation. We've just gone live with some new partners, so I'm excited to see and monitor the results and really watch for the improvement. So really just excited about this summer. It's going to be really big for us.
And I want to ask you one question about that. I love you talked about that, new partners. And I love that you're going to look at the data to see where it's going. How long of data, how much data do you need to be able to see if this product is a good product? Does it take you 30 days to find out, 90 days?
Yeah. I mean, if you ask most GMs, they want results in
30 days.
2 days.
30 minutes.
They want it yesterday.
I just signed up and I haven't seen a movement.
Yeah.
Any good marketer will tell you that you need at least 90 days to really get the full picture. 30 days at the bare minimum, but I don't think that's long enough. I think you really have to have that communication, that transparency, and understanding that it's going to take 90 days to really ramp up. You'll see maybe a slight uptick. You might even see a little bit of a downtick, but when you zoom out to that 90-day window, you'll really see that trend. And hopefully you see the upward trend.
Yeah, we know that product was the right product and the right partner to be with. So yeah, absolutely. It's a great tip, folks. I just want you all to know that don't switch and flip-flop after just 30 days. People do that way too often. Yeah. Oh, this is not working. This isn't happening. You haven't even given it a chance to even start to warm up yet. It's not that they're trying to take their time, but products and all those things take a moment. And once it gets out there, the momentum starts. But once you get to that 90-day mark, the momentum's there. Now it's not much effort. Just continually just do what you do. You keep pushing the thing, but you'll see the data to know, hey, we are going the right direction. Or 2, we need to flip a switch over here and go this direction. And it's as simple as that. But it takes about 90 days to see that. I agree. Absolutely.
Sometimes it takes that long just so everybody understands what the product's
supposed to do it. How to do it.
Almost every time.
I mean, let's be honest. It's the dealerships have a lot going on. They're constantly getting punched in the face, and like, oh, I like that. What? And then 30 days later, it's like, Joe, what was that again?
Yeah, right.
60 days later, it's like, okay, I kind of get it. By 90 days, you're like, oh, I've embraced this. We've totally implemented it. It's working. Let's go.
To your point, Owen, there's a responsibility on both the dealer side and the vendor side.
Yes.
It's not enough to just sign up with Fixed Ops Digital and not communicate to your team what you guys do or how this is going to improve our business. So communication goes back to communication, right?
Always will. Communication number one. I promise you that. Folks, speaking of communications, make sure you go out there and tag the car guy.
Or tag a car gal.
And share. Get this out there. Make sure this gets communicated because we have some really good information. Joe's dropped some really good tips, but we're talking about Fixed Ops Digital, Fixed Ops Friday, Fixed Ops everything today, and TradePending. Thank you all for being such great sponsors and doing what they do, man. Thank you, TradePending. But so much great things. Joe, thank you so much for coming on the show today. Is there something you want to say to the crowd before we get out of here?
Looking forward to my 4th time on the show. Until the next time.
Yeah, I can't wait.
See you soon.
And when you start your own show?
I've thought about it.
Yeah, we'll talk about that someday.
Yeah.
Ponder on that, folks.
I would leave with this. Get to events like Kain.
Yes.
Get to these smaller, more, I would say, I don't know if boutique's the right word, but
Boutique,
We're intimate.
Intimate, a little more intimate, just a little more boutique, the knowledge that has been dropped here has been better than any larger conference I've ever been to. So I keep coming back here. Mm-hmm. Obviously, Kain, knows how to put on a show with the horse races and all that stuff as well. But that's secondary. When you're sitting in that room and you're listening to the CEO of NADA tell you what's going on, it prepares you to go back to your dealership. So that's what I love about events like Kain, and obviously some of the smaller ones out there. They're tough to get to. We can't always be in a conference, but find the ones that you feel like you're going to come out of there better for it.
I love that you said that. Kain did bring in the CEO of the NADA, and the CEO wouldn't show up to any old event. Promise you that. He knows what's going on here, and he knows that this is a great place for dealers and vendors to partner up and become friends and family.
And know who's here. I mean, between the dealers and the vendors, if they're at this one, you kind of know they're the ones that are a little more progressive.
Yeah,
maybe even another thing would be who's not here.
No,
That's right.
Bingo.
So
Kinda.
true.
Just
Like, are
saying.
you going to be at a Kain event? No. Well, I was going to ask you more things when we got there, but since you're not going, but if David Kain says come to an event, you come to an event.
Yeah.
You come on out here.
100%.
And we're so thankful that we get the chance to do a Fixed Ops Friday live in person. We don't get the chance to get around this guy enough.
I
He's
know.
running around all over the place, making things happen
busy
for
guy,
dealerships
man.
everywhere.
Very
And we
busy guy.
seem to run into Joe over here in everywhere we
becoming my
go.
brother,
We love
man.
it.
I see him all the
It's so
time, man.
awesome.
I love it.
That's right.
But we are so thankful that you've taken the time to enjoy this Fixed Ops Friday. Make sure that you do share it around. Make sure that you ask questions. We want to ask the questions that you want answers to on these episodes. If there's somebody that you believe is doing some incredible things inside of Fixed Ops, tag them, shout them out, let us know. We'll get them on the show and have some fun with them, because this really only gets better as we get the best out of everybody that we talk to in the industry that's making great things happen. We honor each and every one of you. We appreciate you all. And guys, so thankful that we just get this chance
man.
to hang out, to have a cup of coffee and a conversation. And you know what? Get ready to go to the races. Looks like the sun's out.
Yeah. It might work out
Blaring,
today.
It
Blaring.
might work
Ah,
out.
there
It
you go.
might work out. So one thing left that we need to do as we get ready to fly over to the tracks, everybody, is to make sure that we do forgive, focus, and fly, and keep growing all the time. We know
Here
the
we go.
motions. You know the flow, right?
Let's go.
All right, Joe, we'll let you count this off, brother. On 3.
1, 2, 3.
Forgive,
Focus,
fly, and keep growing, keep growing.
Thank you so much for tuning in, everybody. I'm Lou Ramirez, the car guy.
Krillin, our subprime hero.
This is Owen Moon. And we've been brewing solutions on Fixed Ops Friday with the one,
The
The
only
only Joe Brown.
We'll talk to you later, everybody. We're out.